It's time for SHL hockey here on the Glenbrook North Hockey Channel. My broadcast partner tonight is Mike Napolitano. My name is Aaron Schellen, and tonight, Mike, the Spartans have a tall task ahead of them as they welcome the St. Viator Lions, who come in second in the SHL at 15-4 on the season. But GBN playing some good hockey. They've won their last two. They've evened their record at 9-9, and they get a chance at one of the best teams in the league.
Yeah, this St. Viator club, we talk about teams that do it by committee. There's a couple names on here you do want to circle, though. Connor Spigdroff, 28 points. He's got 13 goals and 15 assists in just 22 games played. You also have the leading goal scorer, Ryan Loftus, with 17 goals, and Pepe Leboy III with 18 assists. So there's a couple targets on the St. Viator backs, but it's going to be, as you said, a challenge for this GBN squad tonight. Yeah,
even more impressive, really, I would say, than the goal scoring is the goaltending by this Lions team. A couple of goalies, both of which have sub 1.75 goals against on the season. This Lions team has only given up 37 goals in 22 games. So the Spartans have their work cut out for them today. But, again, they've been playing some good hockey as of late. They've won their last two. They're led by Jackson Sterner, who has 14 goals on the season. Jake Semmelhack was just named an all-state performer along with Sterner this year. He's got 3 goals, 11 assists for 14 points on the season. And we'll see who gets the start for the Spartans here today. I think we've seen all 3 goalies in the games that we've done here in Glenbrook. I think we've seen all 3 of their goalies get the start, so we'll see who gets the nod here this evening. Will it be Benjamin Melnick, Logan Spiegel, or Victor Kulikov? Again, we've seen all 3. 17-minute periods. I hope everybody had a wonderful New Year. I forget it's been a while since we've been here. It's been, what, about a month, really? I think middle of December was when we were here last.
Pretty much, and that was a tough game for Glenbrook North. So
yes, it was. Let's not talk much about that one. Yes, bounce back game for sure. And we haven't been here in about 3 weeks. We're going to be here twice in the span of 4 days. We're going to be back here on Saturday for Senior Day.
Yes, I saw the posters already hung up in the
banners
lobby,
are all hung up. Yep,
they're prepping for that. As the
I have headshots of all of the all of the seniors too that will be working into that broadcast on Saturday. So if you can't be here, make sure you tune in and check it out. All right, so I think we're about ready to go. Down in net for St. Viator is number 21. That's Joey Sclafini. 6-1 on the season, 173 goals against, a 919 save percentage. And for the Spartans, it'll be Logan Spiegel making his 13th appearance, his 12th start, 6-4 with about a 3.8 goals against. And we got some stick banging, and we're ready to go here in Glenbrook.
You see St. Viator in those white jerseys, but they're almost off-white with the traditionalist lion on the front. Almost looks like they belong in a castle.
They really do, yeah. It feels kind of like,
or Ireland.
That's what I was thinking. An Irish castle someplace.
Yeah.
Across the blue line with it, whiffing on the shot there is Ethan Lee. Puck comes around the near wall. Semmelhack gets pinched there. It's left for Nicholas Jackson. Jackson tries the cross-ice pass. It's deflected back, and Jackson Strykowski has to go play it behind his own nets. Finds Semmelhack. That long aerial pass will elude everybody, and no icing, as they say Finn Hogan could have touched up there. Hogan now comes out behind his own net. He'll come the other direction. That's deflected in, left there for Spiegel. Sully Lyons up the wall. One-touch pass. Puck is deflected to the near boards. And out with it comes Vincent Serra. He'll throw it around. Morrissey in the corner. He'll leave it there. Back to the point. Lyons. His shot's deflected before it makes it through the bouncing puck. Here is Sterner. Leaves it in the high slot, and it's swept out to center ice. Serra up ahead to Morrissey. Morrissey backhands it in. It doesn't make it through on Sclafani. That long aerial pass misses everybody, and that'll be our first icing of the evening.
Well, only about a minute and a half into this game, we've already seen a lot of stretch pass opportunities. We saw a lot from Semmelhack in that last game that we covered. Luckily, the Glenbrook North side didn't get called for an icing there. Actually got a little bit of puck luck in the zone, and we're able to manufacture a little bit of zone time, but it's going to take a lot to get pucks towards the net on this St. Viator defense, but they go the other way with an icing.
Puck behind the net. And we're early on here, but, against a team that's put up a record like this Lions team has, if you're GBN, you don't make any early mistakes, right? Just make smart defensive plays, keep that score low, and try to beat this St. Viator goaltender. The puck squirts out off the stick of Spiegel into the near corner.
That could have been dangerous. Still some jarring in front of the net as Spiegel tried to get back to his crease.
On it, here's Loftus. Loftus tries the cross-ice pass. He was looking for Mason Steffen. Out with it now is Nicholas Jackson. And no offsides. It's cleared in. Jackson's taken down, throws his arms up, wants a call.
Yeah, the entire bench stood up after that one. I think that was just a clean, huge hit, but contact here early.
Smith gets into Loftus. That shot through is deflected into the corner by Giovanni DePinto. And now Austin Beauvais, he'll try that long pass. No icing. Just underway here in the first period. Off the skates of Matthew Ciccone. Pops up in the air. They're really low. I forgot about the really low roof.
Oh, right, yes.
You're going to get a lot of dead whistle puck hitting the rafters up here. It's probably only about, 15 feet above ice level, 20 feet above ice level.
Just
Speck
about.
shot in.
Oh, look out, that's still loose.
That's still loose. And
we had an early whistle there.
An early whistle, and GBN helped, I think, a little bit, pushing that net off the pegs as the officials were coming in to take a look to see what was going on. But, yeah, Spiegel made that play and he held his ground like he had the puck, but it broke through his arm. And
I'm not sure if he felt it fall through his arm after he made that breadbasket save, but maybe he thought it was in between the wickets. Instead, it went off to his right side, so the left of the goal crease, and crashing the net was St. Viator. And I think they put that puck in the net, but the whistle had already gone, and the net was coming off, as you said. So we get no goal here.
We put "coming off" in quotes.
Yes,
it was
right, yes.
It was shoved off, but that's
yes.
okay. Yes, it was nudged. Face off to the right of Spiegel. It's cleared the length of the ice by the Spartans. It'll come all the way down on Sclafani. He'll be forced to play it. Now behind the nets, D-to-D passing. And Viator. Bear plays it into the attacking zone. Sterner pass a little bit behind Morrissey. Jarothanis tries to one-hand it back to him and can't. That's hammered in by the Lions. Serra in the near corner. Up to Jarothanis. Jarothanis gets bumped by Nicholas Kanik.
And we see Kanik try to lay that big hit right there. And we saw one from Smith just a shift ago. So physicality on every single shift in this one thus far, and it looks like we're going to get our first penalty here.
Jarothanis a big kid, too. It's hard to knock him around, and that hit didn't knock him down. It just stood him up, and what are we going to get? All three of the four referees or officials are getting together here. I think we're just going to have an offsides.
This might just be an offsides.
Yeah.
I thought that puck was deeper along the wall here. It's a little bit tough for us to tell. It must have snuck out and come right back into the zone. Otherwise, I thought that was a penalty.
Sterner tries to stick handle through traffic right at the blue line and can't. And Viator now down the near wall with it. This is Michael Ciccone. Fires it wide. Sibigtroth gets hit hard by Semmelhack. Spiegel's able to make the save, and Connor Sibigtroth is slow to get up as he got hit hard by number 95.
Of course, the puck finds him in the corner, gloves it down to his teammate.
Bad angle shot comes through the near side, and it's cleared out to center ice. And if you're GBN, that's what you want to do. Get the puck out to the neutral zone if you get into any trouble at all.
They've done a good job thus far of alleviating the pressure, being calm defensively, and just working that puck up, starting. It's almost like that quarterback play, starting with their defense. Semmelhack's been a huge part of that. And
there he is right there again.
Possession game is going to be huge thus far, it looks like.
Wearing that C for a reason. Connor Hannes fighting in the corner with Timothy Semko. 2 to a side. It's dug out by Mason Steffen. Steffen now down the far wall, up through center ice. That's tipped in by Przywara. Strakowski leaves it for Serra. Serra gets double teamed behind the net. That hits the linesman, and that's whistled high and wide past the head of Spiegel from a bad angle. St. Viator low. That puck comes all the way through, and that's out.
Wow.
Ooh, yeah, okay. So late whistle, but the right whistle. Was waiting for that to come through as the linesman went down. He's got a big smile on his face, but
it was a great effort from Finn Hogan. I thought he almost had it, but good call by the official, seeing that one came out just enough, and we'll get a face-off.
Karras, Nicholas Jackson, and Ovanian out there for the Spartans with Serra and Strykowski on the back end. Push behind the net. Strykowski's the first one on it. Getting bothered by Colton Newhouse. Huge hit up against the wall by, that was Raymond Karras. Yeah, just laying in to Hogan. And now we got a one-on-one the other way. Jackson against Speck. Jackson. That's good back check work by Loftus. Huge hit by Karras in that near corner for GBN.
I like what GBN has done physically, including pinching the puck carriers from St. Viator off and then having a teammate step in to get the puck. Take the guy, take the body, and have your teammates step in. But you got to have that awareness and that chemistry with your teammates as well.
Heads up. That one comes.
That's a souvenir.
Well, not really at the high school level. You got to throw it back.
Yeah.
You know, and the physicality is coming in the pace of play, which I like as well. Far too often you see teams trying to be physical and putting themselves out of position and then giving up a goal on the back end.
Right.
That hit by Karras was right in the pace of play. It separated skater from puck and gave possession over to the Spartans. So good hit at the right time, and it's what you got to do against these teams that can put up a lot of offense. There's Semmelhack again knocking down John Kolpins. So GBN throwing their weight around here a little bit in the first period, showing the St. Viator team that they are not wary of this team as that's thrown through. Another puck that doesn't make it in on Spiegel. It's cleared out and right back in. Nope, doesn't make it all the way in. Smith tries to go through a double team. Austin Beauvais can't get there first. Smith bumps Popiel and takes the puck away. Smith tries to center it there. It was Beauvais on the back door, but couldn't get the puck through. Semmelhack now, as we're under 10 in the first period. Right up through the middle is Semmelhack. Now he'll cut it to the left. Little self pass, has Morrissey with him. Keeps coming through. No arm up. I thought they might get a whistle there as Semmelhack got taken down. And out to center ice is Bear. Bear stick handling. Top of the near dot. Shoots it off the blocker of Spiegel. Semmelhack now with Lee on his back. Hard up off the glass and out. And Semmelhack is just everywhere for this Spartans team. He's right in the middle of really every defensive opportunity and these breakouts as well. Good start for the Spartans here in the early going.
We saw a little bit of a response physically from Matthew Ciccone, but it's kind of that response you were alluding to, Aaron, that, you know, it's not within the pace of play. So this physicality from Glenbrook North is kind of knocking St. Viator off their game. They've had their opportunities still, but I think it's given GBN a little bit more of a push here as of late.
Draw to the left of Spiegel. It's won by GBN. Pass out looking for Jero Thanis. He gets tied up with Jake Pukala. They both go down. It's dropped into the near corner. Bear up the near half wall. Right at the red line, Lee turns and swipes it in. It's sticked away by Spiegel. Strykowski gets bumped from behind. Morrissey comes over to help his teammate. And Jackson Strykowski digs it out. Off the boards and out. Stopped right at the red line by Michael Ciccone. Cleared right back in. Sully Lyons on it now. Jero Thanis, nice one-touch pass, but it just bounces over the stick of Babula. And now back in. Cleared over to the near half wall. Lions off the glass, hits Babula along the near half, and backhand at the length of the ice, and that'll be an icing.
Finally an icing on Glenbrook North. They've gotten away with a couple, or at least thrown it on net the far side, but good to alleviate the pressure in any way that you can. Get an opportunity to regroup, catch your breath, and then try to get the puck out the zone, because as I was saying earlier, the possession game is what I think is going to be most important, and they've done a nice job at that when they're able to break out, but if you can't, might as well use an icing as a crutch just a little bit.
Yeah, don't take any chances defensively, right? Up the wall, up the boards, never up the middle. The puck comes out in front. There's a couple of shots and a couple of saves by Sibigtroth, a couple of whacks at it, and Spiegel was there to keep the door closed. The elevated pass. Is Hannes going to be able to get there in time?
He does.
He does? Ooh, looked like that puck crossed the red line, but
I think the official was waiting to see if it was going to go far enough, and Spartans got there first anyways.
LeBoy top of the near dot. That's deflected by Semmelhack. Thrown into the paint area. Another shot that's deflected by Semmelhack. Another shot deflected by Semmelhack. And then Spiegel makes the save. And then it's flipped into the GBN bench. Jake Semmelhack in a shooting gallery there. Just took 3 straight shots off his shin pads.
Meanwhile, Anthony Chen was getting abused in front of his own net as well. So a lot going on in this Spartan zone. But as I mentioned, there's another opportunity for a whistle. You want to catch these breaths when you can, but you want to get those clean entries. You don't want to, I know I was saying, take the icings when you need to. You'd rather play 200 feet from your own net and give yourself a little bit of a break, but getting out is important as well.
Popiel keeps it in. That's below the red line. The centering feed sticked away by Spiegel. The slap shot is blockered down by Spiegel. Into the corner. Nicholas Jackson. Sarah not able to play particularly deep. Steffen now back to the point. Shot from the point. Another blocker save. Knocked away from Loftus by Karras. Popiel, top of the near dot, thrown into the opposite corner. Sarah off of Ovanian's shin pads, kept in, and Spiegel's forced to cover up. And GBN a little bit hemmed in here, Mike, over the last 2.5 minutes, but a good start by their young goaltender.
Yeah, that's 3 whistles in a row. I know that was a good save by Spiegel, and the previous one was in the bench, but we were talking about that icing beforehand. Now is where you want to really try to get that breakout, because you've spent a lot of time in your own zone. You've got some tired skaters out there, and even though this Lions squad has been out there for the same amount of time, they've got a little bit more pep in their step, knowing that they are playing without pressure on them.
And got your top line out there, Gerald Thanis, Morrissey, and Sterner, and they do work at the center ice. Theodore has a stick lifted, taken away by Priswara. Gets in front of Sarah. Sibigtroth, top of the near circle. He'll wait. That's Semmelhack again, tipping the puck away. Sterner tries to feed Semmelhack. He does. Semmelhack has Morrissey out in front. Semmelhack tries the bad angle shot. Gerald Thanis. Sterner in the corner. Sterner will cycle it deep. Gerald Thanis backhands to Sterner. The shot tried to come back to the near side, and I think he hit the side of the net. And St. Viator will throw it all the way down on Spiegel. Best opportunity of the period for the Spartans. Ciccone runs into Gerald Thanis, gets knocked down. Sterner has got Smith with him. Sterner the backhand. Good defensive work there by Jake Pukala as it was Smith breaking in all alone. Blake Smith was on that far side. Here's Smith with the puck on his stick now. Centering feed, deflected away, taken out by the Lions. Ciccone, that's Matthew Ciccone, gets around Semmelhack. Semmelhack will stop in the corner. Tries to work it up the wall with Beauvais and does. Now Smith didn't gain the red line. That's going to be an icing. Yeah, Smith had been out there for a while, so probably a little fatigue setting in, but got to know where you are on the ice.
Right, and they will get a chance to switch up lines there, but yeah, as you mentioned, got to know where you are. Don't hem your team in. They did exactly what we were talking about, though, Aaron. Glenbrook got a break out of their own zone, and they actually turned it into a couple of shots on goal, a couple of chances. So put the pressure right back on this St. Viator team, but right back into their own zone now.
Yeah, that opportunity. Sterner had Sclafani moving the wrong way. Sclafani was moving towards the far post, and Sterner tried to tuck it back inside the near post, and he just hit the side of the net. That was the best opportunity for the Spartans so far. Cleared back in. Spiegel will stop it for Lyons. Sully Lyons doesn't get all of that one. Semko tries to go up the far wall with it. Lyons comes over, tries to kick it forward. Just kicks it up the wall, and it's banged up off the boards and out. That'll jump up on edge, but that won't have the legs to make it. Speck throws it along into the near corner. And he'll go play his own puck. Cameron Bear. So we now have 4 skaters over along the near half wall, with under 5 minutes left. Semko clears it out to center. It's cleared out to center ice. And Jackson has no stick. Luke Jackson has no stick, so Lyons has to go back and play it. Lyons gets hit hard by Nicholas Kanik. And out with it, here comes Karras trying to break through. Karras loses his stick as he runs into Popiel. Newhouse, cross ice pass. This is Przwara. Shot in, Spiegel sticks it away. Newhouse and Morrissey bump into each other. Excuse me, that's Nicholas Jackson bump into each other. Popiel D to D. Hong shot wide. Jackson hit hard again. A lot of physicality. I love the word physicality. It's a great word. It doesn't really mean anything, but when you say it, everybody knows what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think it's an actual word, but you know what I'm talking about when I say it. The puck goes into the rafters.
Yeah, that one not only hit the beams, but it hit the lighting as well. A lot to unpack on that last shift. The physicality, like you said, but also a lot from, we saw number 28 in white, Nicholas Kanik, just taking it physically to the Glenbrook North players, whether that was in his defensive zone or the offensive zone, with players who didn't even have a stick. So good by the Spartans to still be able to defend despite not having their go-to weapon.
Karras tries the long aerial home run pass trying to hit Benjamin O'Vanian, but too far out in front of him, so another icing. St. Viator out shooting GBN 11-2, but Logan Spiegel's played well. There really haven't been any dangerous opportunities. A lot of shots from the outside. Spiegel's been using that blocker liberally to knock the puck down.
3:44 to go, and shots on goal are 11-2, but it hasn't looked too lopsided. That one hits the rafters again. Otherwise, that would have taken a funny bounce. But
yeah, I mean, I think the reason for that, again, is because none of those opportunities have been terribly high danger.
Right.
A lot of shots from the outside, so you're piling up the shot numbers, but nothing that you would say, I can't believe Spiegel made that stop kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He might have to make 1 or 2 of those before it's all said and done against a team that's tied for first in the league in goals scored and leads the league in goals allowed. So it's a very good hockey team that's thrown through, and there is the save that we were just talking about. Logan Spiegel on Mason Steffen right out in front. Spiegel closes that left arm and makes the save.
Yeah, point-blank redirection in front as that pass came from the corner, and not taking anything away from Spiegel's save there, but a lot of that is good positioning. So that's still a credit to him that he was in the right spot and able to make that save. But you still got to react with the arm and close that puck down.
Loftus, his shot is deflected down. Ciccone at the near point, clears it deep. Newhouse behind the net. Gets knocked down by Strykowski. Very physical Jackson Strykowski. He'll come out now. His attempted clear is deflected back at him, and this gives St. Viator an opportunity. Loftus's pass is deflected up in the air. It's batted out by Gerothanis smartly. Now backhanded in. Semmelhack behind his own net under 3 minutes. That'll come all the way out. And Gerothanis in a race for the puck with Michael Ciccone. He'll be the first one on it. Gets bumped. Morrissey. Back to Gerothanis in the corner. Tries to shovel it around for Sterner. Morrissey takes it away. Bad angle. into the corner. I think Sterner got a piece of that with his glove. Sterner has it. Sterner tries to walk through, gets another opportunity, another shot. 2 shots deflected. I think both of them by Michael Ciccone. Kept in there. Beauvais' shot gets blocked by Ciccone. Ciccone and Semmelhack are having a contest here to see who can block more shots. This has been impressive by those 2 defensemen. Bouncing puck is iced by St. Viator. Again, good shift by that line of Theodore Jarrett, Thanis, Jackson Sterner, and James Morrissey. Really the only offensive pressure the Spartans have been when those 3 have been out on the ice.
Yeah, a huge shift, as you mentioned, and turning the tables quite a bit, getting the icing to go their way, but also before that, just a number of really good shots as that puck is dropped unfairly, so we'll do it again. But talk about the Spartans taking it in the offensive zone, and sometimes, you know, we talked about the difference in shots on goal. Sometimes that's all it takes is the rush the other way, maybe set up a little bit in the zone, but one lucky bounce, and you may not have worked as hard offensively, but you'll get rewarded with a tired Lions team out there.
Puck in the near corner, skated out by Sibigtroth. Goes up the far wall, finds LeBoy. LeBoy cut off there by Anthony Chen. Smith will turn and start up ice. Flips it forward. Tommy Speck will play it in his own zone. And out with it is LeBoy. LeBoy with some speed. Swept away by Chen. Now into the near corner. Sibigtroth. And out. Beauvais gets bumped by Hogan, and that lets Speck back to play it in his own zone. Speck through the neutral zone. Gets around Ovanian. Throws it into the glove of Spiegel. Looked like that may have rolled up into his jersey. But he holds on. Minute 16 left. Now, we still got minute and 15 seconds left in the period. You remember the last time we were here, game ended, I think it was 8-1, I think was the final score. But it was 0-0 at the end of the first period.
Right, yeah, it was not a reflection of how, actually I believe almost the first 2 periods, if I'm not mistaken.
It was about the first period and a half,
yeah.
and then things sort of went sideways for the Spartans. So you play a solid first period against a good team. You got to follow that up with a solid second, but still some time left in this first. Ovanian, oh, and there's a huge hit by Nicholas Jackson, no whistle, and there are just bodies going everywhere in this one.
And in front of the benches too that's a crucial area.
Nice outlet pass to Karras. His shot gets knocked down. He gets the rebound. There's another deflection by Adam Papil. I wish we had like the actual running stats. There have been, and it feels like there have been 10 or 15 block shots already here in this first period. Ciccone.
I don't know what there will be more bruises of, block shots or hits by the end of this one.
Yeah. I mean, GBN is showing they certainly are not intimidated by this St. Viator team. Nicholas Jackson. It's given away there. Sterner. Karras, that'll not make it through to Sclafani.
I think the Lions wanted an offsides there, but they'll get the puck back.
Semmelhack catches that puck on the fly. Karras will turn and hammer it into the attacking zone. Papil gives it away to Sterner. Sterner stick handles. He has it taken away. Now St. Viator will throw it the length of the ice with 3-2, and that will do it for the first period. So shots on goal were 14-2 in favor of St. Viator. GBN was on their heels at times, but overall I think a pretty solid first period for the Spartans. Mike and I will be back with second period action here in just a minute on the GBN Hockey Channel. Back for the second period, no score after one, and Spartans have the line out there that's really provided all of their pressure. Morrissey, Gerald Thanis, and Sterner. Let's see if they can do something here to start off the second period. It's swept in by Sibigtroth. Sterner along the near wall. Up to Morrissey. Morrissey's pass too far out in front of Gerald Thanis, and Ciccone clears it in. LeBoy. Bad angle shot that ramps up into the screen. A whistle and an early face-off here in the second period.
Well, we were talking about a little bit of this at this end of that first period, and you and I were mentioning it during the break, but this Glenbrook North team very well defensively, not just with the block shots, but also we've talked about their big bodies and also being smart with the puck when they do have possession.
Yeah, they're playing well tonight. They're playing well. They've given up a lot of shots, but again, save one. The majority of those shots have been from the outside, and they've been relatively easy for Logan Spiegel. And it's, the longer you can keep it scoreless, you know, the more you kind of start to believe that, hey, all we need to do is get one.
And that's going to be the real challenge. We talked about that before the start of this one, is that this St. Viator team doesn't give up a whole lot of goals. So if you can sneak one in, you're already doing well. And you know, we talked about how we saw this Glenbrook team last time, and they were, look out, there's some physicality going on behind the play, behind the net.
Yeah,
we're going to get a whistle.
Yeah, we're going to get a penalty here on St. Viator, I think. I think it's going to be on Nicholas Kanek, for hitting Semmelhack behind the net.
And there was a little extra on that hit. It was a little bit of a
maybe
face
not.
wash. And
Kanek's going to the bench. Is it going to be on Semmelhack?
This is going to be on Semmelhack, I guess.
No, maybe there's no penalty.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Linesman and referee conferring over by us over here, but
talking to the GBN coaching staff, I wonder if maybe the net was off its pegs, or there's something. I mean, because the puck, the play was just stopped with the puck in the GBN defensive zone.
It seemed like the referee was looking straight at the altercation behind the net, so I thought that was exactly what we were getting the whistle for, but we'll play on 5-on-5 hockey. But as we were saying, it's going to take this Glenbrook North team to play a full 51 minutes here tonight and maybe sneak in a goal.
Oh, that puck hit a body part on the way through, and Spiegel, that's the definition of expecting the express and getting the local. He was waiting on a wicked wrist shot, and that puck just trickled into him and almost went under that left pad, but good reaction by that left leg of Logan Spiegel.
Spiegel was already in that butterfly, sliding to his right. That puck was a changeup, as you mentioned, just sliding more to his left, but actually just straight on. But he was already moving one way, so just getting the toe on it to keep that out.
Kept in. Spiegel will hold on.
Well, we've got a little bit of extracurriculars going on
Smith
after the whistle.
And Newhouse, after the whistle, I think a little tap there on Spiegel, and Blake Smith was having none of it.
Don't touch your goaltender. That's the.
There is our first penalty of the game. It'll be on Colton Newhouse.
We'll have a face-off in the St. Viator end. It'll be the first one of this second period, so this will be a real test for Glenbrook North. Can they capitalize on a huge opportunity here?
Yeah, it's a chance for GBN. They have not had many offensive opportunities, just 2 shots through the first 18 and a half minutes, and they're going to get a power play here on the year.
St. Viator has not given up a whole lot against. They have scored 1 shorthanded goal, but the Spartans, they've scored 4 power play goals on this season, so hopefully they can add to that tally here.
Smith draws one by St. Viator. It's kicked from Gerald Thanis back to Semmelhack, who will play it in his own zone. Semmelhack slowly up through center ice. He'll wait for his line mates. He's got Sterner behind him, and Semmelhack just barely got the red line. In the corner, Jarothanis, far point, sweeps it deep. Smith gets knocked down from behind. Lions, Jarothanis, Semmelhack, his shot through some traffic, deflects in, and GBN takes a 1-0 lead. Blake Smith, I think, is going to get credit for that one, Mike, as the Spartans jump out in front on the power play.
I believe that hit off of Smith in front and just bounced right back off of a defender into the back of the net. So an unlucky bounce for the visitors, St. Viator, but a fortunate bounce on the power play for Glenbrook, extending
Mulhack, his
power
shot
play
through some
goal
traffic,
tally.
deflects in, and
Saw
GBN takes a 1-0 lead. Blake Smith, hit some
I
body
think, is
going to
gonna
get
get
credit for that
through.
one. I think that hit Smith's leg on the way through, and hey, sometimes that's all it takes. You don't always need a snipe, right? Sometimes a bouncing puck through some traffic will do.
Well, that was that puck luck we were talking about earlier, and that's that one goal that you just maybe need to get on the board against this really tough Lions team and not only take a lead here, but
now a 2-on-1, Sterner with Jarothanis. Sterner, he winds up and shoots, and that one left a dent in the glass. Jarothanis had fallen down, so Sterner had no choice but to take the shot, and he almost roofed it.
a little bit of momentum here for Glenbrook as well, so keep that pep in your step and go get another one.
Tipped forward, Ciccone, Michael Ciccone. It's his pocket picked. Morrissey not able to follow up, and it's Strakowski now. Sterner avoids the hit. Sterner tries to play it through for Connor Hannes. Hannes throws it in on goal. It's covered up by Sclafani for a whistle and a face-off. So GBN on the power play takes a 1-0 lead.
They do still have the penalty listed on the scoreboard, but that is not accurate.
If
We're
only.
back to 5-on-5. Now they've taken
If
it off.
only.
So back to 5-on-5 hockey, but the Spartans pressuring in the offensive zone, using a little bit of that momentum. You could kind of see a little bit of the wind taken out of the St. Viator sails, but I think they know where they sit in the standings, and you can't get too complacent with this team here.
No, if you're GBN, you got to keep moving forward, right? It'd be hard pressed to think that this game's going to end 1-0.
No, yeah.
You know, so if you're GBN, you got to keep moving forward and try to make 1-0, 2-0. Hogan gets hit hard by Semko. Semko gets taken down. No arm going up.
Could have been a little bit of a hit from behind, but the Viator defenseman did turn and put himself in that position, but then they both fell on top of each other, so I could see both the linesman and the referee seeing that as a wash, and we play on. And
yeah, these referees have I don't want to say they've let a lot go. It's been a very physical game, and they're letting the guys play.
They're letting the boys play.
Yeah,
and
they're
sometimes that's a good
play.
thing. You know, you got to still have control of the game, which I believe they do, but at the same time, you know, you can't be too soft on them and sometimes have to swallow the whistle just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think the one penalty that was called was, here's a chance for St. Viator that's cleared through, and Karras comes out the other way. The one penalty that was called, I think, was right. You know, you don't hit the goalie after the whistle kind of stuff. And,
right.
You know, I think that was the right call there. But the rest of the hits have been within, I would say, within reason. Loftus will throw it opposite corner. Lions with Stefan. Popped up in the air of Nicholas Jackson. And GBN clears it out. Stefan is offsides. 12:22 left, middle frame. GBN up 1-0. Blake Smith on the power play.
It's one of the only games in the world that polices itself. So, yeah, as we said, sometimes you just got to let things play out, see what happens. You could always call the penalty afterwards, but as we mentioned, I think a decent job officiating thus far tonight, and both teams have played practically a clean game despite the heightened physicality. I mean, that's just good, clean hockey.
Yeah, you almost expect with all the hitting, you expect the sticks to come up at some point, but hasn't happened yet. Here is the goal scorer, Blake Smith. That was his 8th goal of the season. He gets taken down. Beauvais stick handles the bad angle shot. The puck's loose. It's deflected wide of the net by Damian Jerzak. And then he'll come into the attacking zone the other way. Sibigtroth back to the point. Shot through, deflected wide of the far post. Now in the near corner, back at the point, and Spiegel. That was going to go well wide, but probably the right play by Logan to, if you can get to the puck as the goalie, get to it and get your whistle.
Yeah, we had a clean view of that shot from Bukala right there, and as you mentioned, was going wide, but I don't mind a glove save there. Slow things down, get a different look out here as well, as both teams changing up all five on these lines.
Draw to the left of Spiegel, 1-0. GBN, Blake Smith, his 8th goal of the season on the power play. A pinball, I guess you could call it, right?
For sure,
absolutely a pinball goal, but they all count the same. You know what? In the box score, it's a snipe. Here's a shot through. Spiegel through some traffic, and again, St. Viator going after Spiegel after the whistle. This time it was Ethan Lee with that little chop down on the glove of Spiegel. Viator's got to be careful. They've already gotten one power play for shenanigans after the whistle.
And for a team that doesn't give up a whole lot as far as goals, you've already given up one to a team that, are below you in the standings, and I'm sure St. Viator wants to get back into this one. That would not be the case if you take another penalty.
Puck is cleared out. Hogan spins out of the way of Jero Thanis, throws it the length of the ice. No icing. Semmelhack sweeps it around the near wall. Lee keeps it in. Kanik behind the net. Now Bear gets bumped off by Semmelhack. Back to the point and out. Right back in. Chen turns onto the forehand. Puck takes a weird bounce off the wall, ends up over on the far side. Hogan knocked down Sterner. Sterner's shot. Ooh, that right arm closed by Sclafini, but it closed late, Mike. Jackson Sterner almost had one there.
Sterner had a couple of teammates in the slot area, but I'm not sure, based on where he picked that puck up real quickly, I don't know if he would have had time to throw it or a lane to throw it to the center. But a good stick to pick that puck up in the offensive zone and win your team a face-off and a draw in the offensive zone right here.
He's been trying short side all night, Sterner. His 3 really good opportunities have all gone to the short side. That puck's loose, and Sclafini left that thing sitting there, and Morrissey,
he pulled his stick there.
He pulled his stick back.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not saying an eye for an eye, but what St. Viator has been doing to your goaltender, you can throw a little poke in there.
Well, we saw the puck as Morrissey went through there.
Right, exactly.
That puck was still loose.
Go ahead and get your stick in there.
Sibigtroth now with an opportunity.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know if that hit the crossbar or if that hit the stick of Spiegel.
I believe that rode up the stick of Spiegel.
Okay, that's what
that was a really good save right there.
Up into the screen. 10:44 left in the second. Still 1-0. Glenbrook North. LeBoy will take the face-off against Morrissey. Sterner. Not able to get the puck out of the zone. Those are the ones that scare you in a 1-0 game, right? An opportunity to just clear the puck out and you flip it into the hand of the opposition right in front of you. Those are the ones where if they score, you're like, man, I just gone up the wall. Or fortunate, though, that St. Viator was in offsides. LeBoy and Morrissey again. Strykowski tries to go up the near wall, does get it out. Hong will just turn and clear it back in, but the Lions have to change up. That lets Luke Jackson take possession and take his time as that's deflected the length of the ice. So no icing, Hong and Sterner. Sterner's going to get there. Cycles it down to Morrissey. Morrissey tries to sweep it out in front, but Papil is there. Papil drops it for Hong. Ji-Young Hong clears it out to center ice. Morrissey loses the puck. This is Colpins in the corner. Colpins gets knocked down by Luke Jackson. That puck comes out. Sterner It's in his feet. He doesn't know where it is. He finds it, gets it up ahead to Jerzak. Jerzak digs in. He gets taken down. Are we going to have a penalty shot? We are.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I didn't know if he had enough of a breakaway right there to warrant that call. But
that was
yeah,
Connor Hannes, excuse me. That was number 18. Yeah. Go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
No. Same thing as what you were saying is, yeah, Connor Hannes is going to get a prime opportunity to double up this score right here. A beautiful pass from Sterner, though, to recognize where his teammate was and have his head up in the middle of the ice. He had a back checker coming to him right here and just
Hannes,
able to float that one up.
Hannes with 2 goals on the season. Number 3 would give his team a 2-0 lead. Let's see. Here comes Hannes. He'll start to his right, slowly back through the middle. Hannes between the dots. Hannes in. The save is made by Sclafini. Sometimes you kind of feel like, if you have a clean break-in, like you're not thinking, right? You're going, you're making your moves, you're putting the shot on goal. But on a break, on a penalty shot like that, get in your own head and maybe try to outmove yourself a little bit.
You kind of have to know what you're doing before you even pick up that puck at the red line. You've got to be deceptive with it, and you've got to get that goaltender moving if you're not going to take a perfectly placed shot. So I don't know if there was all of that there. Obviously, it was kind of more breadbasket, but still an opportunity that is going to make St. Viator think a little bit as that puck goes out of play. St. Viator here, this is going to become a game of discipline. You sent yourself to the box, gave up a power play goal, and you're going to have to stay out, not only stay out of the box, but not allow penalty shots like that throughout the rest of the game, which means your defense has to be pretty perfect, and you got to get back to your game if you want to have some chance in this one. Otherwise, you're going to be playing shorthanded or giving up some grade A opportunities the whole rest of this game.
You talk about that momentum swing here for GBN. They're out shooting St. Viator 7-5 here in the second period. They're outshot 14-2 in the first. There's a draw pass. Nice play by Austin Beauvais. Beauvais to Smith. It's tipped away. Jerzak right back to Smith. Smith tries to walk through. He gets fought off. It's cleared out. Strykowski, St. Viator family, they want offsides, but that looked onside from our end. A little give and go.
It seemed like it to me. And momentum's a great word for it, Aaron. You've got Glenbrook North playing with that momentum, as there is an offsides right there, but you've got St. Viator playing on their heels. So playing on your heels and playing uncomfortable is when mistakes are going to happen. You've got to find a way to get back to your game if you're the visitors here. But for the Spartans, they're taking what they can get from this Lions team, and they're rolling with it because, as we've said before, it's been a little bit shakier of a season for Glenbrook North, and getting a win at home here against a very tough team is a huge morale boost.
Yep, they've won 2 straight. They're 9-9-0 with an overtime win and an overtime loss. This is Przywara down in the corner, gets bumped there by Luke Jackson. Cross-ice pass, bounces off the stick of Speck. Speck throws it behind the net. Jackson will get over there to play it for GBN. Tries to flip it up to Ovania, not able to get enough on it. And that's going to be offsides.
Yeah,
Probably shouldn't have been whistled. It wasn't touched by GBN.
Right, yeah. That puck popped up, and I don't think anybody knew where it was for a moment. So
Jackson was trying to hit Ovania. I mean, it was not a bad idea. He just didn't get under it enough and flipped it basically straight up the ice rather than towards us, which is what he was trying to do with it. Morrissey on the draw against LeBoy. It's won by LeBoy, but Morrissey takes it away, gets knocked down. Now out with it comes Pepe LeBoy the third. LeBoy, Sibigtroth on his right. Back through to LeBoy, and there's a pretty save by Spiegel. Nice give and go by the Lions, and Spiegel makes another one.
Well, LeBoy and Sibigtroth, those are 2 names I rattled off during the warm-up that you want to watch out for.
Shot through, a left toe save this time by Spiegel. Spiegel to Sterner. Sterner gets the red line, dumps it in. Kept in by Morrissey at the point. Morrissey tries to work through with Sterner and can't. Kept in at the point by Sully Lyons. Flips it down to Gerald Thanis. Gerald Thanis back to the point, Semmelhack. Semmelhack shot through, ticketed for that top corner, goes high. Gerald Thanis in the corner, backhands it by the far circle. LeBoy out to center ice. Lions down to a knee. Now it's a 2-on-1. Lee and Przywara the shot and the save by Spiegel. Another shot through, another save by Spiegel.
Oh, wow.
Another save by Spiegel. Makes the diving save with his glove. Absolutely robbing Albert Priswara, keeping it 1-0.
That was incredible from Spiegel to dive across the goal crease like that. He even gets a high five from the referee. I promise nobody has paid anybody before the game, but I mean, you've got to recognize a goaltender's effort on that one.
How he got a hold of that one. That was clean into his glove. What a save by Logan Spiegel. He has stopped 24 shots through a period and a half so far, keeping his team up 1-0. Bear, high slot up into the rafters as there's another deflection.
Yeah, Kanik's shot deflected. That one, if you're St. Viator, you're just, your jaw's on the floor, you're stunned, and that's one that you maybe go home and you're thinking about as you go to bed. That's the one that may haunt you. But wow, what a display.
Hopefully the Spartans can get another one and make that save really hurt. And coming on Spiegel, and he'll cover up there. He made about 4 saves in that sequence, both at the far post and then obviously the diving save at the near post. I don't care what happens the rest of the way. Logan Spiegel has been on his head this evening for the Spartans.
Huge display of goaltending here from both goaltenders, really. But
his shot
Spiegel.
in and out of the glove of Spiegel. Ovanian has his pocket picked at the blue line. Blockered into the corner. Lee. Strykowski gets hit hard there. 3 green jerseys, 2 white along the far half wall. It's one back to the point. Lions shoot it in. Ovanian. Strykowski gets tangled up on the back end, and Spiegel is there to make another save. And yeah, I saw this one coming. Kanik and Strykowski were getting into it along the far wall, and they come together after the whistle.
Parents wanted a call beforehand.
Parents always want a call.
And then, of course, the puck finds its way to Spiegel, who makes a save once again, and it continues after the whistle. We're not going to get anybody going to the box here, but
nor should we. Again, I like the fact that these officials are letting the guys play tonight. And, you know, there's a line, and we saw that when it was crossed that the arm will go up, but otherwise let them play. DePinto on the draw against Babula. It's won by GBN. St. Viator loses the puck back to the point. Semko has got a ton of speed. He gets hit hard, though, by Matthew Ciccone to separate him from the puck. Ciccone now up the near wall. Goes cross ice. Finds Michael Ciccone. Behind the nets. Kolpins. Cycled around by St. Viator. Jackson along the near wall now. Bukala gets buried by Semko in the corner. Digging at it in that near corner. 2 white, 2 green.
That puck is getting moved, but not quite enough to get out of the corner.
Yeah,
and now they're just playing the bodies.
Now they're just pushing and shoving. No one's going after the puck now. It's just sitting there. Flipped up into the screen.
That hit the glass first. I don't believe we're going to get any kind of delay of game call there, but man.
Physical. It's been a fun 1-0 hockey game, Mike.
Tough to get that puck out of the corner. And yeah, in fact, a very close, very good hockey game. We've got a hard whistle at center. I don't think that's indicative of anything. I think we're just going to have that normal face-off. I think they were just calling for the line changes there.
He to the left of Spiegel. It'll be Mason Steffen for St. Viator. It's won, however, by GBN. Strykowski out to center ice. Jerzak has got Beauvais with him. Jerzak tries to go to Beauvais. Beauvais not able to tuck.
We saw a 2-on-1 from St. Viator earlier that I thought they should have used the backdoor option, but didn't. In this case, GBN does, and almost gets a shot off. It was a good play, though.
Shot in the high slot, and again, Logan Spiegel
save.
Right in the right place at the right time, making the glove save with 4:47 left in the second.
He has certainly flashed the leather. I got a couple of stick saves. Those are the ones that went into the rafters a couple of times, but it has been the glove of Spiegel that has been the talk of this game thus far.
Draw will come to his left. Shots are 28-9 in favor of St. Viator.
Got 4:46 to go in this second frame.
Beauvais. Chipped into the corner. Smith tries to kick it to Beauvais. Beauvais back to the blue line. It gets caught in the snow and stays in the zone. Semmelhack, though, able to work it to center ice. Jerzak bothering Hong. Papil far side of the ice. Semmelhack again. Back to Hong again. Hong's pass is deflected forward, and Semmelhack is there. He'll clear it back in. 4:11 left in the second. Hong drop pass there for Loftus. Loftus stick handles around Sterner. Loftus into the attacking zone. Gets cut off at the blue line by who else? Semmelhack. Now the puck's low. Bad angle shot. Bounces up in the air behind the net. Smith. Now St. Viator. Again, that's off the shoulder, the right shoulder of Logan Spiegel up into the screen for a faceoff.
Good collapsing defense from the Spartans. You saw a nice triangle in front with the man down low as well, covering the puck carrier and the options in front of the net, forcing the Lions to just shoot that puck with a bad angle. And yes, they win a faceoff in the offensive zone, but Spiegel standing tall again, keeping that puck out of the net.
Morrissey against LeBoy. It's won by LeBoy. Back to the points. Serra for GBN. Stops in his forehand. Gets pushed down from behind. Gets it back. Throws it around to Sterner now in the corner. Sterner, Serra, and Morrissey down there. Backhanded out in front by LeBoy. Morrissey, Sterner. Sterner gets bumped, but he's able to work the puck out to center ice. Sibigtroth finds Speck. That hits the linesman in the skate. Sibigtroth with 3:15 left. Skates into the neutral zone. Gets around a couple of green jerseys. Takes it wide, goes around. Serra drives the net, tries the wraparound. Spiegel closes that far post, and Sully Lyons now out with it. Backhanded forward. Morrissey has got Sterner out in front. Drops it for Jaro Thanis, but it comes back the other way. Przwara with Sibigtroth on his right. Stops, spins to his forehand. Throws it through. LeBoy. Speck now near wall. Throws it in on Spiegel, who sticks it into the opposite corner. Semmelhack tries to work the puck out. There's about 6 inches of snow down there in front of the bench. That does come out. Here's Karras now, 3-on-2. Karras with Sterner. Karras on the backhand. The aerial pass, there's nobody over there. Jackson. Karras. Karras far dot, shot through. Glove save, Joey Sclafini. Good shift there by GBN with 2:20 left in the second.
Karras was basically shot out of a cannon on that last one. Picks up the puck in that snow mound, as you said. Takes it through the neutral zone, laterally through the offensive zone. Gets a shot off. Good way to circle and cycle the puck around the boards and keep it. But he did have a point option. I'm not displeased with the shot there and get the puck on net. But if you have a point option, you can go to that as well. Get set up.
Karras against DePino. Karras wins it. Jackson into the skates of Giovanni DePinto. Big hit there on Culpins by Nicholas Jackson. Now Ovanian races for the puck. He'll be the first one on it. But a nice sliding play by Jake Pukala to separate him from the puck. Now Ciccone. Ciccone, that's off, I think, the wrist of Spiegel. And out to center ice. Karras gets bumped right at the red line. Jackson and Karras go tumbling, and Loftus now for St. Viator. Loftus through center ice into the attacking zone. Stick handles through. Spiegel shovels it away. And now Ovanian. Ovanian, nice outlet pass to Jackson. Jackson will dump. Karras not able to get there. It's Speck. Speck to Ciccone. Michael Ciccone. Back to DePinto. DePinto's shot. That gets through Spiegel, but goes over the net. Now Ciccone, far dot. He'll backhand it deep with 1:15 left. Matthew Ciccone comes out of the corner with it. Loftus, cross ice, shot through. Spiegel blocks it into the corner. Beauvais has it knocked away from him. Hong gets bothered at the point, and that does come out. Nice play to get it out to center ice. Ovanian stops, gives himself a little bit of space, but then his shot is deflected down. Mason Steffen and him get tangled up. Now the other way, Newhouse. Newhouse is passed to Steffen, is shot over the net. I think it got deflected up over the net. Now Steffen in the corner, back to the point. Hong and Newhouse. A little bit of confusion, but they clear it deep. Loftus throws it out in front. Spiegel tries to play it to himself. He comes out of the crease to play the puck, and now we've got some more shenanigans after the fact as Smith takes down Steffen, and Loftus didn't want it. And you saw Smith just stick his hands up and say, he fell over the net. Like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah, that was partly Spiegel diving for that one, and partly Smith coming in. There was nowhere else for the St. Viator forward to go, and just kind of takes a tumble over that. So
if you're the Spartans, you got 30 seconds. Play solid D for the next 30 seconds. Go to the third period with a 1-0 lead.
Get this puck out no matter what you can do. I mean, even if you have to ice it, but ideally get to that red line or get a deflection.
Morrissey on the draw for the Spartans. It's one Sibigtroth. Back to the point. Nope, that comes out to the neutral zone. Whiffed on the first attempted dump. Now Strykowski. Jackson hammers it around, and that'll come out to center ice with 13 left. Sterner has got Morrissey. Sterner takes the shot. Another deflection that goes just wide of the post.
That hit the jersey of Morrissey and almost in on goal.
And that'll do it for the second period. A power play goal by Blake Smith, his 8th of the year on a deflection from the near point on a shot by Jake Semmelhack. All the scoring. And we'll go to the second period break with the Spartans up 1-0 here on St. Viator. Mike and I will be back with third period action here in just a little bit. Spartans with a 1-0 lead. 17 minutes left to go, and the obvious question is, can the Spartans hold on? They lead 1-0 over the St. Viator Lions here. The only goal of the game, Blake Smith on the power play. About midway through the second period, gave his team a 1-0 lead. GBN being outshot 32-10 through 2 periods. And really the story of this game has been the goaltender, Logan Spiegel. He has stopped all 32 shots he has faced. And I'd say about 28 of them have been casual, but he's made a couple that would make SportsCenter if high school hockey on SportsCenter was a thing.
Top 10, yeah.
Absolutely, especially the diving save down here to our right in that second period. He's got to do it for another 17 minutes. His team with a 1-0 lead. GBN looking for their 3rd consecutive win, trying to send St. Viator to their 2nd consecutive loss, a team that's only lost 4 games all season long. But we're not there yet. 17 minutes left to go, and the Spartans will send out Morrissey, Gerothanis, and Sterner to get things started with Semmelhack and Strykowski. On the blue line, the draw is won by the Lions. It's cleared in, sticked away by Spiegel. Semmelhack up the wall. Gerothanis tips it out. Hogan will clear it right back in. Wouldn't surprise me to see number 95 in green out there for about half this third period, Mike.
Yeah, a lot of minutes for the big defenseman, and rightfully so, not only with the C on his chest, but also with how he's played tonight.
Yep.
And we talk a lot about how after the Zamboni, between the second and the third period, the ice resurfacing, you get a little bit different of a game. It's almost like playing 2 separate games. So as long as GBN can stay focused and continue playing the game they've played thus far, maybe they can add to that lead or just hold on to it throughout these last 17.
Yeah, definitely a faster game on that clean ice. So we'll see if they're able to muck things up here as we're about a minute gone by in the third. Strykowski, Beauvais, indirect pass looking for Smith, doesn't work, but now Sterner takes it away. He'll clear and go for a change. Stopped behind the nets by Joey Sclafini, leaves it for Popiel. Popiel getting hounded by Beauvais, and now out with it come the Lions. Drop pass, Loftus. Loftus shot. The blocker saved by Spiegel. Popiel back at the near point. Flipped up in the air. The bouncing puck, and it bounces in. After all of the saves that Logan Spiegel has made today, the flip shot from the near point bounces over his glove, and it's 1-1.
That's just an unfortunate one there. Unfortunately, yeah, as you said, Spiegel has made a bunch of really tough saves today, and it's the weird one that just bounced right in front of us here on this near side of the post and found its way to the far side on that glove side. That's been spectacular, but a knuckle puck like that, and there's really no way for Spiegel to react on that.
No, that puck took about a 45-degree bounce to the right and just up over the glove of Spiegel. So a new hockey game. Newhouse not able to get it super deep. Serra plays it. He'll stop, cut back to his forehand. Up to Beauvais. Beauvais to Smith. Smith has it taken away, rung around the wall, kept in over by the far point by Luke Jackson, and now out in Viator. Beauvais taken away at the blue line. Hard pass through, looking for Ovanian. Ovanian had his head up ice, though, and that's going to be an icing. It's a tough one. Couple of bouncing goals. Nothing clean has beaten either goalie yet. A pinball for GBN and a knuckle puck for St. Viator. Draw to the left of Spiegel. 15 minutes exactly left in the third.
If you're Glenbard North, you got to just keep your heads on straight. Don't get too disheartened on that one. It was a fluke. It was a lucky bounce in a way, and you got to just get back to your game. It was tough to get that first goal. You had to do it on the man advantage. You're going to have to try to get one 5-on-5 unless you can force another penalty. And we've seen a little bit of pushing and shoving going on after the whistle. Of course, that's what players are trying to draw there, is that extra call. We haven't seen a whole lot of that here tonight. Not to say that the officials have done a bad job policing this game, but they've been letting the boys play.
Cicconi's shot into the body of Spiegel and comes out the other side. Sully Lyons, Ovanian not looking for the puck again. And that lets Viator possess in the attacking zone. Cicconi throws it around the far wall. It's Kolpins. Kolpins gets double teamed. And Ovanian finds Karras. Karras across the red line, gets it back to Ovanian, but it's cleared right back out. Serra, the slap pass to Karras. Karras into Semmelhack, and Jackson sweeps it in as the forward line changes up for Glenbrook North. Serra back to play it behind his own net, around to Gerald Thanis. Gerald Thanis one-hands it out to center ice. Sterner, stick handling. Gets hit hard by Kanik. Then Morrissey gets knocked down by Bear.
Fans wanted an offsides call, but I think Glenbrook North tagged up when they were knocked out of the zone physically, quite literally.
Morrissey goes cross ice with it. Kept in by Sterner. Getting knocked down in the corner was Gerald Thanis. Sterner's not able to keep it in. Jackson gives it away to Speck. Speck drop pass, LeBoy. LeBoy gets cut off by Luke Jackson, but in the near corner with it. Thrown back behind the net. Sibigtroth not able to get there. LeBoy gets there though, and now it's taken away by Serra. Serra off the glass and out. Not going to be an icing. It will be an icing on Glenbrook North with 12:44 left in the third period. 1-1. The score here from Northbrook.
Glenbrook North has been a little bit more on their heels after that game-tying goal. Shots on goal, we mentioned, Aaron, 35-10 in favor of the visitors here. St. Viator really putting a lot of pucks up. We were worried in the intermission we might see 50 shots on goal by the end, and Glenbrook is going to have to figure out how to get back into those offensive ways. A couple of odd man rushes, but a clean breakout is what you're going to need. That's what they'll get here.
Beauvais. Semmelhack back at his own blue line. Strykowski. Jerzak runs into Hong. And now Strykowski has to go back and play it in his own zone. Deflected up into the Spartan bench. And shots 35-10. A much better second period for the Spartans than the first, but I mean, you saw even towards the end of the second period, St. Viator really turned things on. That was that sequence where Spiegel made that diving save. They had about 7 or 8 shots in the last 2 minutes of the period, 2.5 minutes of the period or something. So GBN's going to find a way. Clean shifts, draw a penalty, something.
Defensively, we've seen them closing a lot of the gaps and a lot of the lanes for St. Viator, so they've done a nice job on that. And then offensively, it's a lot of moving as a unit and getting that puck to cycle along the boards. If you could just get that on net, then eventually you may find one.
Centering feed back to the point. Walking in, that's deflected by Jerzak. That shot behind the net. Near point with it, Cicconi. Near half wall, Cicconi gets it back. He'll go D to D, find Pacala. Pacala's shot through. I think that caught a piece of the pad of Spiegel. Squirts out in between the dots.
I thought that was coming by us.
So did I.
That's
so did I. It hit the rafters. That's the first time here in Northbrook that I felt the need to react. And thankfully it was a flipping puck.
Yeah, that one had some backspin on it. A little bit of an undercut there, but still came out nonetheless.
It's like a sand wedge, right?
Yeah.
You get behind it, a little bit of backspin, put it past the pin and let it roll back.
Yeah.
That's what we had there with the puck.
But once again, another lane closed up by Glenbrook North, whether that's been with a stick or a body, getting in those shooting lanes. So St. Viator's been in the offensive zone for some time now, but only 2 shots to show for it.
It's cleared out. That clips Tommy Speck, and shouldn't be an icing. That puck hit Speck on the way through. We saw his jersey move, but they're going to say it was an icing.
There, but
officials missed that one.
Only the first blatant one that I think we've seen of the night. But
ones are wild. Look at the board. It's 1-1 with 11-11 left in the third period.
Make a wish, 11-11.
11-11, yeah. I wish for a goal by the team in green.
Honestly.
Sterner. Morrissey tries to tip it forward, but Sibigtroth is there to take it. A cut behind the net, fall down, somehow get back up and play the puck onto his forehand. Throws it out to LeBoy. LeBoy on Jackson. That shot goes high. Priswara gets bumped by Morrissey and Chen, and now Chen has it. Bang it off the wall and out. Jaro Thanis runs into Hogan. LeBoy gets around Chen. The hard backhand, and Spiegel reaches the glove out to make the save.
That was a good lunge there. Almost looked like a first baseman stepping well off the bag there just to reach out and grab that one so that there were no casualties.
Yeah, aggressive. Come out and play the puck, right? Meet the puck. Don't let the puck come to you.
Yeah, and what St. Viator has done really well is they've realized that they're being pushed off into the corners and along the wall, so they're just making that pass into the center, try to get that backdoor opportunity, but Glenbrook North has done a nice job of closing that opportunity off for them pretty much every time.
And there is shot number 40 of the evening by St. Viator, and it's right into the Glenbrook North script on the chest of Logan Spiegel.
So a total from both teams added up.
We got 50.
50 shots on goal, and only 2 goals in this one. Nothing separating these two teams other than those shots on goal.
Sully Lyons tries to clear it out the far side. He can't. Matthew Ciccone in the corner. Bobula off the back of the net. Ciccone again. Swept wide of the near far post, and it's going to be thrown down by Bobula, and that will be, or excuse me, Hannes, and that'll be an icing. Don't forget, GBN had a 1-0 lead and a penalty shot. This could have been a 2-0 game, but Connor Hannes wasn't able to find the back of the net. As each goalie has made, that's obviously the biggest save of the game by Joey Sclafini for St. Viator, and we've talked about the game that Logan Spiegel has had, but nothing bigger than stopping a penalty shot.
Well, you mentioned the one that Spiegel gloved that may keep a St. Viator forward or two up at night, but that penalty shot, it could go the other way and keep a couple of Spartans up at night.
Semmelhack wins the battle, finds Ovanian. Ovanian. Karras shot out of a cannon. Karras trying to drive the net, the shot wide. Ovanian. It's tapped out. Semmelhack plays it back to the St. Viator blue line, and now the other way. Kanik, his shot goes wide of the far post. Lee gets tied up with Semmelhack, who has it. Semmelhack plays it to himself off the back of the net. It really was. Ovanian dumps it to space, but Papil will jump around Jackson. And Semmelhack, of course, back to play it. Karras has been close a couple of times. A ton of speed by Raymond Karras. Just hasn't been able to finish yet.
I like this combination out here. Of course, one's a forward and one's a defenseman, so vastly different responsibilities and lines out here. But you've got Karras, who, as you mentioned, has been shot out of a cannon multiple times, and then you've got Semmelhack just quarterbacking this defense and calm with the puck in the defensive zone. He turns it over there, but he's right back in the play.
Strykowski goes hard into Loftus. Now Stefan and Ovanian along the far wall. Smith not able to play the puck forward. Back to the point. Bukala's shot wide of the near post. Michael Ciccone will dump it in deep, and Semmelhack will ice. GBN's not taking any chances right now. If they don't have a clean exit from their defensive zone, Mike, their plan is ice the puck and live to fight another faceoff.
And I don't blame them. I mean, you just want to make sure that that puck stays as far away from your net as possible. And the beauty of this level of hockey is you still get to change on the icing. So you've got the fresh legs out there, but you have to keep in mind that St. Viator is going to throw some fresh legs out there as well. And you're not really going to alleviate the pressure based on an energy standpoint.
No, but you do get your best line out there. Morrissey, Gerald Thanis, and Spiegel and Sterner out there for GBN. So this is the line that's really been able to get them some offensive pressure. But as I say that, St. Viator has the puck behind the net. Jackson, that's off the back of the net, off the back wall. Now with it, here's Przywara. Przywara cycles. LeBoy. Ciccone bounces over his stick. He'll cycle back. Bounces off of LeBoy down to Sibigtroth. Sibigtroth on his backhand as Ciccone driving the net from the far point, or near point rather. Cycled deep. Serra around the wall. Ciccone is able to keep it in at the point, and the bouncing puck is tracked all the way by Logan Spiegel with 7:33 left in the third. Shots are now 42-11 in favor of the Lions, but it is still just 1-1.
Glenbrook North is going to have to keep an eye out for the second man from St. Viator that enters the slot. There's been a floating forward, and that's a lot to do because of the fact that the Lions have been cycling the puck. They've got good puck movement along the boards. They realize that that's all the Spartans are going to give them, so that allows them to float forward into that slot, and that second guy isn't always picked up.
Sterner whiffs on the shot. Jero Thanis has it in the corner. He gets double teamed, taken away by the Lions, and dumped to center ice where Semmelhack will played with a high stick. Not Semmelhack. It was played with a high stick down in the attacking zone and ended up on the stick of Semmelhack, so he was the first one to touch it after a high stick by his own teammate. So 7:15 left. Face off to the left of Logan Spiegel, who has stopped 41 of 42 shots. Definition of keeping your team in the game. Logan Spiegel has been tremendous tonight. Jero Thanis up the wall. Cleared out Sully Lyons, was looking for Sterner. That pass didn't work. Morrissey crushes Colpins up against the wall. Jero Thanis gets lined up. Morrissey gets into it with Colpins. And now Lyons into the body of Jero Thanis, who bumps into Colpins. Sterner, Semmelhack crosses the blue line. The bomb well wide off the stick of Semmelhack, healed it a bit. Nicholas Jackson along the far wall goes down. Cleared up. Strykowski clears it in. GBN was offsides. Now they are not. Outlet pass Ciccone, Semmelhack, Karras, backhands it to Ovanian. Ovanian not able to corral the puck in his skates, and now out with it is Speck. Speck into the attacking zone. Strykowski. Nicholas Jackson in the far corner with some space. Tries to get away from Loftus, who cuts out in front of him. It's tapped forward. Speck lets the traffic go by, goes D to D. Adam Popiel, pass out to Ciccone, who deflects it into the corner. Strykowski with Loftus. Strykowski behind his net, has it taken away there, though. Back to the point, Popiel. Popiel, far circle. Cross ice pass, Steffen tries to go 5-hole. Spiegel finds the puck and covers up. That was a pretty feed from Ryan Loftus. You said it, look out. Mason Steffen trying to come in back door, but Logan Spiegel closed it.
Well, there's that second man hovering into the slot. In this case, it was the beautiful cycle from this St. Viator team over to the far side, allows the winger to pinch in and become the backdoor option. And you've got all four of the Glenbrook sweaters. Of course, there's 5 out there. We're a 5-on-5 hockey, but all 4 that were in that slot area focused on the one man in the slot and the shooter rather than the backdoor opportunity.
Smith wins the draw, and now he's out with it. He's got Damian Jerzak on his left. Smith tries to skate through the double team. Beauvais shot into some traffic, and Sclafini somehow finds it. Austin Beauvais got that off in a blink of an eye, and big save by Sclafini.
Well, it was Blake Smith in front that immediately put his hands up. He was in between the goaltender and the iron right there, making sure that the referee knew that he didn't touch anybody. So don't give him the penalty. He was forced into the crease right there.
And that play was made by Blake Smith as he split that double team Puck got batted away from him, but right back to Beauvais, who wasted no time. Draws one by the Lions. Out with it, Connor Sibigtroth to his right. Semmelhack pushes him against the wall, then pins the puck against the boards. Sterner out there with Morrissey. Back to the point. Papil. Will dump deep. Sarah pushes Sibigtroth. Morrissey gets taken down. Jarothanis. Sibigtroth. LeBoy. Gets hit hard by Semmelhack. Sibigtroth gets hit by Morrissey but keeps the play alive. Przwara behind the net. LeBoy near half. Deflected up into the air, knocked down by Semmelhack, and just the calmness of Jake Semmelhack out there, catching the puck in traffic, dropping it in front of him, and playing it out of the zone. Jarothanis cross ice. Morrissey tries to shorten the stick and can't. Sterner not able to get there. It's Papil with 4:14 left. Now Loftus drags through. Ciccone back at the point. His shot deflected well wide.
I think that hit the skate of his own teammate, Stefan, over there.
Jerzak able to play it off the wall and out. Back to play it is Jake Pukala for St. Viator. Michael Ciccone up to Loftus. Loftus with Stefan and Newhouse. The shot sticked away easily by Spiegel up into the air. Chopped at by Beauvais once, twice. Tips it out. Sully Lyons coming forward, able to elude the hit. As the puck behind the net overskates it, Stefan takes it for the Lions. He'll spin back onto his backhand with 3.5 left. Loftus starts up ice. Newhouse with some space down the near wall. Fire the wrist shot, easy glove save by Logan Spiegel. That is save number 44 of the evening for the Glenbrook North goalie. 3 minutes, 13 seconds left, still 1-1.
An impressive showing no matter what the result is here. And only 3:13, as you mentioned, separating these two teams from what could be a long night. But they've got to get through quite a bit of time here before that.
Big draw here to the right of Spiegel. It's won by GBN and cleared out. Ciccone will clear it back in and hand pass. Be an offensive zone draw, or excuse me, it'd be at the blue line.
I almost thought we were going to get a penalty there. I mean, it was a hard hit, but it was a clean hit.
It was a clean hit.
It wasn't in step with what the Stripes have been calling all night, so it almost surprised me there. So yeah, just a hand pass there.
Kolpins with some speed. He'll go down, and no whistle, no penalty called. Semmelhack off the wall and out.
The St. Viator side wanted to call there, but that was just, I think, losing an edge right there. I don't know if he was touched at all. Contact came a little bit after the step had already been made, and frankly lost.
We're under 3 minutes now. Draw to the left of Joey Sclafini, who hasn't been tested much. Stopped 11 out of 12. He got beat by a pinball goal, was able to stop a penalty shot, so he made the saves when they mattered, but Morrissey, Jarothanis, Sterner, Luke Jackson, and Jake Semmelhack. Semmelhack's been out there with, I think, 3 different D partners this period. He just stays on the ice. It's cleared back in by the Spartans. They have to touch up. Hong. Appeal. The aerial pass into the body of Jarothanis. Sterner whips it towards the goal. It's deflected away. Morrissey behind the net. Tries to get it out front to Sterner. They can't. It's chopped up into the air. And Semmelhack. That's going to be a penalty. Yep.
Yeah.
Jarothanis is going to go for that one. And I don't even think he needed to do that because Semmelhack was back in play. And you see Jarothanis put his hands on his head. He got into Connor Sibigtroth and took him down. And yeah, I don't think he needed to do that. That puck bounced away from Jake Semmelhack, but he was back in the play. It's going to be a power play for St. Viator, their first of the game with 2 minutes and 17 seconds left.
I think Jarothanis was trying to sell it that Sibitroff had
was holding his
held
stick,
his stick and took him down with it, but I think that stick was already there and taking him down. So I think that is the right call. Unfortunately, it's going to come with just 2 minutes and 17 seconds to go in a tie game. So this is going to be an interesting last few minutes here. You need, if you're Glenbrook North, you need a clean clear right off the draw here and to kill these 2 minutes as best you can. But you really just want this game to go to overtime at that point, unless you can get the absolute best case scenario, which is a shorthanded goal.
Yeah, I mean, the one advantage that GBN has here, Mike, is that their strategy in their defensive zone has been all night. If you can't get a clean clear to ice it, well, they can't ice it because they're shorthanded. Right. So yeah, if you have an opportunity, if you get trapped in your own zone, turn and fire it. That's what they've been doing all night long. So
yeah,
we'll see if they're able to carry that strategy here into this power play. And the special teams numbers aren't entirely accurate based on the numbers that we have here, but St. Viator, about a 23-24% power play, while GBN struggles on the PK. It's about 65% penalty kills, so big one here. Big one here.
Shorthanded goal against for the Lions. If Glenbrook North can become the second team to do such a thing.
Yeah, GBN has 5 shorties on the year. Jackson Sterner with 2. Karras, Ovanian, and Vincent Serra all with shorthanded goals. So, in case you were curious.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's what they're thinking about here. You're thinking about winning the draw and getting the puck outs.
Right.
And that will be the task of Nicholas Jackson. Puck is won by the Lions. Loftus. That's cleared up and not out. Sibigtroth near point. LeBoy, his shot, and deflects through. Prizwara near half wall. Deep. Kanik, Prizwara, Sibigtroth. His shot through, blockered up into the air that bounces down just outside the crease.
I thought
Loftus
that was coming back down.
Prizwara, his shot hits a body that goes wide. Sibigtroth, LeBoy. Sibigtroth at the point. Thrown to space. Albert Prizwara, half wall. Sibigtroth, LeBoy. Dangles. The shot breaks through Spiegel, goes wide of the net, and it's cleared out by guess who? Jake Semmelhack.
Yeah, you could tell Spiegel didn't know where that puck was, and luckily it was nowhere near the net. It took a funny bounce after that save. So
minute 10 left, 50 seconds left on the power play. Loftus uses the screen to get into the attacking zone. He'll hold along the near half wall. Walks in. The puck bounces up over the net again. Spiegel doesn't know where it is. Morrissey has it pinned up against the back wall. Gets some help from Semmelhack. 34 seconds left on the power play. 49 seconds left in the period. 4 skaters behind the net. Now 5 dug out by Loftus. Loftus gets underneath Hong and comes out to center ice. Now we'll see that speed of Karras that forces Sclafini to play the puck. Down to 15 seconds on the power play. 30 seconds in the period, and James Morrissey clears it back in 7 seconds, and you see Gerothanis standing up ready to pounce. Down to 3 seconds. DePinto, drop pass. LeBoy, his pass is deflected. Gerothanis, potential 3-on-2 as Morrissey and Karras. Gerothanis for Morrissey. The puck gets behind him. Down to 5 seconds. Up to Newhouse. Newhouse, that pass is deflected up into the air, and we're going to have more free hockey for you here from Northbrook. The Spartans hang on the power play. Raymond Karras is exhausted. We're going to go to overtime. It's 1-1 here in Northbrook. Back here for the overtime session, 5 minutes. Shots are 47-12 in favor of St. Viator, but it's 1-1 where it matters. And for GBN, it'll be Semmelhack, Jarothanis, and Sterner. And for St. Viator, Hogan, Sibigtroth, and Pepe LeBoy.
We've seen a lot from all 6 of these skaters, so no surprises as to why they're starting this extra frame here.
Draws one by the Lions. Sibigtroth works it forward. He's got LeBoy on his left. LeBoy rips the shot off the shoulder of Spiegel. Sibigtroth skates it high. He'll come out of the attacking zone.
Good high pressure from Sterner. You heard the bench screaming at the start, who you got? As soon as they didn't have possession, Glenbrook North is focused on man coverage.
Good work there by Jarothanis to take the puck away, and that pass out in front of Sterner, just miscommunication there. Now Newhouse, he cuts across. It's taken away by Semmelhack at the point. So Newhouse out there with Speck and Prizwara. Lions comes into the game as Newhouse fires the shot off the right shoulder of Logan Spiegel. Semmelhack fighting for the puck. God, he's so good.
Tie up, and he got it from 2.
Sterner has the puck, waiting for some help. He'll throw it back to Sarah.
That's fine right there. Good work from Semmelhack, and possession is everything in an overtime period. So if you have to throw it back into center ice just to do so, then go for it.
Newhouse with 3.5 minutes left. Prizwara across the blue line. And he'll play it back to the neutral zone. Speck. Karras out there with Lyons and Sarah. Speck takes it wide. The shot in and out of the glove of Spiegel. Speck behind the net. He'll throw it back to the neutral zone, and Matthew Ciccone will go back and play it for the Lions. Karras on the forecheck. Ciccone. Stop along the far half, wait for his line mates. Takes it deep. Hong trying to come in from that near point. Out in front, Loftus. Loftus through. The puck bounces up in the air and goes wide. Ciccone leaves it for Loftus. Down to 2.5. Loftus around Karras. Loftus in, he shoots, he scores. Loftus went glove side high on Logan Spiegel, and the Lions win 2-1 in overtime. That was the 50th shot of the game on Logan Spiegel, and he couldn't stop that one. And GBN loses 2-1 in overtime. But I will tell you what, absolutely nothing that this GBN team, and especially Logan Spiegel, should hang their head on. You see his teammates coming over, every single one of them giving Logan Spiegel a pat on the dome. He's getting a talking to by Jackson Strykowski. What an absolutely tremendous performance by Logan Spiegel. And this GBN team gave St. Viator everything they could handle today. But in the end, they lose 2-1 in overtime.
Loftus, just a beautiful move to sashay by at the blue line, move in on the defender, and hit a clear lane to the net, goes near side high as he catches Spiegel cheating just a little bit. But other than that, he had been perfect all night. As you mentioned, faced 50 shots tonight and only gave up 2 goals, even though the scoreboard's showing 3. But 2-1 your final here. Unfortunately, Glenbrook North lets that 1-goal lead slip in overtime.
It's faced 50 shots, stopped 48 of them, but it wasn't enough as GBN loses 2-1. That's going to do it here for tonight's broadcast. Mike and I will be back here on Saturday, 5:30 start time. It was originally 7:20, but the powers that be moved that game up so that nobody will miss the Bears game on Saturday night. So make sure you are here watching Glenbrook North hockey on Saturday night before the Bears game. For Mike Napolitano, I'm Aaron Shellen. This has been GBN Hockey on the GBN Hockey Network. We'll talk